Okay, and then I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Can you guys let me know that you can see this? Is this good? Yeah, okay. All right. So, just as a reminder, or how we came about this, Nancy and I attended a bounce back train the trainer session in February. So, I'm going to go to the next. Oh, I can't. Hold on. There we go. So down at the bottom here, these are the partners that came together to form the Bounce Back program. There were a couple of physicians. So these are organizations mostly in southern Minnesota. There were a couple of physicians that, like one physician passed away, and then another one took their life, and so some leaders in the health system in the south of Minnesota came together to form this bounce back program, and then they kind of packaged these things that just help people bounce back from stuff like mindfulness and self-care. Today we're talking about resilience. They packaged it together, called it Bounce Back, and then they do like train the trainer sessions all over the place. And Nancy and I attended one in February, and we thought, this is so great. Like, we should bring this to dentistry. And so we started dreaming about how we might be able to do that. And then in March, COVID happened, and so we weren't doing much with it. And then everything this summer, and now we're just like, wow, we really need this program right now. And so let's bring it to dentistry now. So I'm here to pass on the tools that were packaged together by Bounce Back, this program in the south of Minnesota. Wright County is where it came out of. All right, resilience defined. So resiliency is about our ability to bounce back from the stress in our lives. It's not about avoiding the stress, because we can't, and we can't get out of the situation that we are all in right now. We have to somehow figure out how to keep pushing forward, keep doing the work that we've been doing. The goal is to develop coping mechanisms, or grow the window of tolerance in order so that we can gain confidence in going through these challenges. Resilience can be strengthened just like any muscle. Like, we talk about resilience training, and I'm going to go through ways to train with resilience in a bit. These are the pillars of resilience. And some of these pillars are actually their own month's focus. So the Bounce Back program that we just started this week will go for 8 months. So there's 8 topics, and we'll spend a month in each topic. This first month of October will be resilience, and after that, every month after, we'll have a different topic. So some of the pillars that you see here are their own monthly topic. Like, purpose is its own monthly topic. I think we're talking about that in like December or January. Mindfulness is its own topic. We'll spend a month on that. Social connections, like relationships, we'll spend a month on that. And self-care is another one. Self-awareness isn't one of them, but I'm going to talk about self-awareness in this presentation. By strengthening these pillars, we in turn become more resilient. Instead of experiencing an overwhelming downward spiral when we encounter stress in our lives, these 5 pillars work together to lift us up out of the chaos that we're feeling. We'll cover each of these pillars throughout the Bounce Back project. Okay, so the first step to resilience training is to become aware of what's happening. So the way that we get there is by self-awareness and growing the window of tolerance. Because when we are in an intolerable spot, like if we're in a high anxiety spot, it's harder to observe. It's harder to observe without judgment um, when we're in kind of a spiral. So just a couple of thoughts here. You are not your thoughts. You're the observer of thoughts. The thing that makes us uniquely human is that we can think about what we think. So if we're having a thought and we just pause to observe, oh, I'm having anger right now. I'm having some, even in our intro, we talked about like, somebody said something about, oh shoot, I lost my thought, but we can't get out of that, the spiral if we're just feeling the thoughts, or if all the thoughts make us feel like we like all the thoughts are true. They're not. We're the observer of the thoughts, and they're sometimes lying to us. Sometimes our brain tells us something that isn't true. The goal is to get curious about what's happening, and then reserve judgment so that you can just observe. There are no right or wrong thoughts. I feel like often we are quick to judge about what's appropriate or not. I shouldn't be feeling like this, so I'm not going to feel like this, instead of like, wow, I'm like really struggling right now. This is really hard for me. Like, I'm just being honest about where I'm at. It's really hard to stop the judgment, I think, especially if we're feeling like every thought that comes in is like a signal for how things are, versus just a thought that's kind of passing through on a conveyor belt that can just keep going. If you can observe the thought and then get curious, you can ask yourself, why? Like, why am I experiencing this right now? And then just allow time to feel that thing, the uncomfortable thing that might, our instinct is to push away the thing that's really hard. So if we can observe it and just sit in it for a minute, even if it's uncomfortable, we can ask like where it comes from or where the roots are, and get more information about what we're feeling and why. I like to practice noticing the feelings that I have, and then like thank them as messengers, because the feelings that we have are like communication or like messages for us. Something you can thank your thought, like, oh, I see you, resistance. Like I am, that's resistance. Like, I'm naming it. I see you, resistance. Like, thank you for keeping me safe, but I'm going to kind of keep going. I'm not going to give in to the resistance, even though, like you want me to. Resistance is there because it has kept me safe. So thank you, resistance. I see you. Thank you. I'm going to let it keep going. The practice of being aware of the feelings is what allows us to build resistance, because when we're observing those thoughts, even the hard ones, as an observer, we understand that we are not our feelings, that they're coming as messages, and it allows us to build the window of tolerance so that we can observe all the things better. So why should we build resilience? These are really, really, really hard times right now. We have to build resilience to push forward, because it's the only way that we can keep going. Like we have to keep going. We can't get out of this situation. We have to observe it, be in it, and act from it. We're here, so we got to keep going. Building or doing resilience training builds persistence in the face of adversity. So how to keep going even when things are hard. I want to spend some time talking about this TED Talk by Jane McGonigal. It was in 2012, so it's a little old right now, but here's the link, and I'll also put it in the Slack channel. It's like 20 minutes long or so, but I'm going to talk through a little bit about it, but you should watch the whole thing because it's really good. So Jane McGonigal was a gamer. I think this was her first TED Talk that she did. She's got a couple of them out. She's a gamer, so she writes or codes for games. And she experienced a head injury that caused suicidal ideation. And so she was like, I'm either going to die or I'm going to get better. And she created a game to get better. So she's a gamer. She does that for a job, but she created a game to try to get better. And the way that she did that, like she actually coded a game and later people used it, but it was originally created because she had this head injury that was causing a lot of emotional problems. And so in the game, she battled bad guys, which was the things that triggered her brain injury. So things like bright lights and crowded spaces were the bad guys that she had to combat in the game. And then she also had power-ups where examples were cuddling her dog for 5 minutes or walking around the block one time. She could get a power-up in the game. So she created the game and then she launched it, and other people said that they got better with it. And she said that her physical pain associated with the brain injury continued for another year after she started playing. So she was still in pain for another year after that, but she felt like she was no longer suffering because it changed things for her. The tools that we're going to talk about in the Bounce Back program are all scientifically valid ways of hacking our own systems. We genuinely need self-care. We genuinely need to concentrate on the good things. We genuinely need to practice gratitude and things like that. So her game that she created in defeating the bad guys and collecting the power-ups by going for a walk or cuddling her dog or doing whatever changed things for her, and it helped her be able to get better even though she was experiencing physical pain still. So watch the TED Talk. In her TED Talk, Jane also did a lot of research during her when she was writing the game and stuff, and she read some studies that hospice workers had interviewed people and things when they were close to dying. And these were the top 5 end-of-life regrets. I'm going to read through them. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. I wish I let myself be happier. I wish I had had the courage to express my true self. I wish I'd lived a life true to my dreams instead of what others expected of me. And it turns out that the top 5 end-of-life regrets from people are connected to basic human needs for rest, connection, happiness, and authentic expression. All right, so 4 types of, we talked about resilience training, how it can be, something that we can practice or a muscle that we can work to make it stronger. There's 4 types of resilience training: physical, mental, emotional, and social. We need physical resilience to physically keep going through the days. I, as a hygienist, need physical resilience to get through the day. I'm wearing all these things, I'm wearing, extra stuff. There's more things to do during the appointment. There's more stuff to explain, or we're doing this now, we're not doing this. So I have to have physical resilience with that. Mental resilience is mental strength or mental ability to keep going. Emotional resilience is being able to ebb and flow with all the things that come through, all of the feelings that we have. And social resilience is, of course, like our social systems. So when we strengthen these things, like when we strengthen physical resistance, we can heal better and our immune system is better. An example of building physical resilience is by moving your body. So even simple movements like every hour if we stand up, like I'm building physical resilience right now because I'm standing up every minutes, or I'm stretching. Even these things help build physical resilience. If we strengthen mental resilience, our brain gets stronger, the ability to process is better, increased willpower to keep going. An example of building mental resilience is to snap your fingers exactly 3 times. So I want everybody, or 30. I want everybody to snap 30 times right now. Okay. So that is a brain exercise because I'm counting as I'm doing it. Also, something that builds mental resilience is board games, puzzles, books, that sort of thing. When we strengthen emotional resilience, it increases our body's ability to recall positive emotions when needed. So like if I'm having a hard time, if I routinely practice looking at stuff that's beautiful to me and doing things that feels nurturing to me, I can recall the good stuff quicker when I'm having a hard time. And social resilience, when we strengthen that, our social support is stronger so that when we need stuff, we can call people. This is a slide from the website, the Bounce Back website, but I just want to read through this. This is how we build resilience in life. Show up as true self. Manage stress, avoid burnout. Manage change and setbacks. Engage or respectfully engage others by communicating supportively and being an effective listener. Facilitate another person's success with guidance, recognition, and support. Build trust. Have moments of play. Stay inspired. Okay, this is reflections. You don't have to write on each of these things. I'm going to read through them all, and then whatever feels like exciting to you or something that you want to write about, just you can do a couple questions. I'm going to give us about like maybe 7-8 minutes, something like that. So I'm going to read through the questions now, but just pick whichever you'd like to write about, and then I'm going to stop recording, and then we'll go back to discussion, and then after we're done writing, we'll just talk and you can share if you want. All right, here's the questions. What are the ways you like to move your body? What mini movements help you feel free in your body? What is your mental chatter like? Are you an observer? Do you meet yourself with judgment? What are some ways you can be kinder to yourself as we navigate these stressful times? What mental resilience activities do you enjoy? List 3. Name some imagery that you find beautiful. How could you build engagement with these things daily? List 5 people that you want to reach out to in order to foster social connections. What are the bad guys in your video game? How can you earn power-ups? List 5 of each. All right, so I'm going to leave this up. I'm trying to stop recording, but I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on. I'm going to stop share, And then I think I can probably stop recording from here.